Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Rush Roots. Today we have Lucas. So, Lucas, why don't you tell us who you are and where you're from?
Well, my name is Lucas Zwastetzky. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I go to the University of Pittsburgh. I'm a mechanical engineering student, and I'm a Rush fan.
Which is why we're here.
Yeah.
Or
awesome.
are we here because Roll the Bones? I don't know. Anyways. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, how did you hear about Rush? What got you into them and what keeps you around? Tell us your Rush roots.
So when I was in elementary school, I had like an iPod, like Touch, like a fourth gen iPod Touch, and I had music downloaded from my dad's like CDs that he burned onto the computer, and I had this one song called "Bu2B" from one weird album that looked cool, and I really liked that song, and I've only ever heard that song for some reason. So I played that song all the time, and I never really like checked out the band or any of the other songs on that album or anything, because you had to buy them and everything, and I wasn't about that. So eventually, like a couple of years go by, and it's my freshman year in high school, and my dad comes to me and he asks me, do you want to go to a Rush concert? And I was like, I don't know who they are, or I don't know who that is. And he was like, well, you have like, their stuff downloaded. Don't you listen to them? And I'm like, I don't know. Do I? And so he was like, yeah, this song. And I was like, oh, that really cool song with that really awesome opening. Yeah, that's a great song. And I was like, oh, but I'm going to my friend's house this weekend, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And I don't know the band. And so he was like, all right. And he didn't like try to persuade me any further, which is one of my biggest regrets, saying no to that. But eventually he was like, you should just give them a listen if you haven't already. Like, you haven't listened to Tom Sawyer or Spirit of Radio or anything. So, and I was like, all right, I'll give them a listen. So I listened to this. I started listening to their hits, and I'm getting really into it because I never heard a sound like this before, and I never heard lyrics like that before. So I just started off with the hits, and then eventually I started digging deeper and deeper. Eventually I just plowed through their entire discography, and I just kept falling more and more in love with them. And throughout high school, I started to become this like weirdo, because all my music was like, anytime someone was like, do you have a song that you want to recommend? I would always be like, yeah, put on a like La Villa Strangiato or something. And then they'd be like, dude, that's like 9 minutes long. Dude, I don't know if we want to listen to that. And I was like, oh no, you want to listen to that song. You want to listen to that song.
You gave me my one play. You put out my 7, 8, 10, 20 minutes on here.
Yeah. And then they'd be like, do you have another song? Yeah, do By Tour and the Snow Dog. And then like 2 minutes and they're like, dude, what is this? It was, that's awesome. But I didn't, and I was listening to them all the time, and I never got tired of their music, and that's kind of just how it's been up until today. So that's how I discovered them. Yeah.
So,
awesome.
All right. So is it safe to assume then that you didn't get to see the band live?
I did not, unfortunately. Okay. I think when my dad asked me to go to that concert, that was for the Clockwork Angels tour.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah, and then
where was that? Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And I think I remember him saying that we would have had to drive out a little bit, so they might not have been playing like in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I just remember him saying like we would have to go like an hour out or something like that, but it would totally be worth it, and it definitely would have been for sure, but not to me at the time.
Yeah, I got a similar story as to why I miss Snakes and Arrows. You can reference episode 1 of Rush Roots if you'd like, but all right, Jim, go ahead.
Well, why don't we do this? So since you did not see them, I'm sure you have heard some live stuff from them. What
Yeah.
concert would you have liked to have seen? If you could pick one just to go back in time or anything you want.
Yeah, that's I would have to say Time Machine for sure. That was the first live album that I listened to from them, and personally, I just think like the sound there was just the best. There wasn't anything like special or out of the ordinary, but it was just the set list, the sound, and just the way that they were playing, like they like had it, like it wasn't like they were lacking in any parts, like they were on top. So I would say definitely Time Machine. If not Time Machine, R40. I wish I was there for that. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But
cool. Yeah.
One of those two.
Yeah. Well, and the good news is they do have a lot of DVDs that they released of live performances. So
yeah,
we can enjoy those as well.
I actually
get Cinema Strangiato. It's the next best thing.
That too. Yeah, exactly.
I had a French teacher in high school whose husband was like super into Rush, and I had I came in with merch all the time, like, or just like band or Rush t-shirts and stuff. And my French teacher actually was like, if you want to borrow like some live like show DVDs, I can like bring them in to you. Because A, I don't want them in the house. B, someone else will take them. So yeah, and so like then I was like, okay. And then the next day she came in with that was how I got to watch Time Machine tour. Like I got to actually like watch it on my TV for the first time at that point, and it was really cool. And then I have Show of Hands, and then I've seen Rush in Rio a couple times actually, just on YouTube and stuff, and a couple other ones that I'm sure. I mean, I actually went to go see Cinema Strangiato when it first came out, not the director's cut that just got re-released, but I saw that, and that was a pretty cool experience, I will have to say.
That's the closest thing you're gonna get. Yeah, it's vastly different, but it's the closest thing you're gonna get to. All right, right. I want to ask you if you when you were first getting into the band, did you have a favorite song that you kind of gravitated to, or a favorite album that you kind of gravitated to, and does that change? Does that differ from kind of where you're at now in terms of your preferences? Did that evolve over time?
So when I first started getting into them, I don't think I actually had a favorite album yet. I mean, I think Moving Pictures, like everyone kind of goes to that first. Yeah. But I remember my favorite song when I was like first getting into them was Spirit of Radio, and I really liked Temples of Syrinx specifically, like just that section of 2112. And the reason for that was because I like never heard someone sing as high like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I first heard that, I was actually I remember I was on the bus coming home from practice, and like a bunch of my teammates were like sitting around me and stuff, and I was listening to that song, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I like stood, I was like, everyone, you guys need to hear how this guy sings like right now. And then they were like, this is awful. And I was like, this is amazing.
This is awful.
Sounds like my friends.
What do you gravitate to now, generally?
Now I would have to say Grace Under Pressure is definitely my favorite album. My favorite song has to be coincidentally on that same album, and it's actually a tie between Distant Early Warning and The Body Electric. Those are two of my favorite songs. Yeah, I can listen to those all day, every day.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Such a great album too. That's so cool, man. Yeah. All right, awesome. Hey, that's great. All right, well, why don't you tell us where people can find you on social media? I know we are on Instagram, so an Instagram handle is good if they want to reach out to you and get to know you as Rush Friend.
I mean, I'm only on Instagram. That's just LucasJZ620. Pretty standard. I don't post a lot, not much of a poster. So there wouldn't be really anything to find there, but I'll take what I can get,
Yeah.
Cool,
man.
Well,
That's
you
awesome.
can always find Lucas on Rush Roundtable as well.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I'm sure he'll be on some coming up. And anyone watching, if you want to come on and share your Rush roots, state how you got into the band and kind of where your preferences are at, and if they've evolved, you can email us rushfans@rushfans.net, and we will be sure to have you on. So with that, Lucas, thanks, and everybody, take care.
Thank you.